Hi, everybody, and welcome today to our Reshape review, our Reshape method review with very, very recent Reshape graduate, Sue B. Sue, so awesome to have you here and to be celebrating the Reshape method first birthday. We're doing a week of reviews. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for allowing me, thank you for all you've done, actually. It's been brilliant.
Oh, amazing. Well, I'm dying to hear all about your experience in the Reshape method. I'm just going to check very, very quickly that we are live and kicking and that everybody can see us and hear us and that all the tech is participating. Okay, that is amazing. Awesome. So, Sue, maybe you can start by just telling us a little bit about an overview of your transformation with the Reshape method, where you were in your life and in your body, and what drew you to the program.
Okay. So we live in North Yorkshire in England, and we moved here just before Christmas. And prior to that, for the last sort of 4 or 5 years, I have felt like I had been sort of slowing down, feeling like I was slowing down and not being able to do very much about it, and getting a lot of pain. And I've always had chronic pain since a car accident 27 years ago. And I didn't think that there was much that could be done. I'd been to physios, I'd been to osteopaths, I'd been to orthopedic surgeons who just looked at me and said, there's nothing we can do, you're too young, and off you go. And so I came across you on Facebook, and I can't remember how I came across you. I think it was on a perimenopause group, and then it was a link off from there. And I found you by doing the walking challenge. But prior to that, I'd been sort of lurking in the background and sort of watching and wondering whether this was going to work, and, umming and ahhing, and do I take the plunge, and all sorts of things. And I think having moved, and after lockdown, I really just became desperately sedentary, and that's not really me, but couldn't find a way to get myself motivated enough to move, because every time I moved it was sore, and then there was complications, and anyway, it was horrendous. So what triggered me to join was when I did one of your exercises, which was the arm one, the one where you move your arm in backwards and forwards. And even just doing that for however many minutes that we were doing it on the mini moves it was, I could see my arm had turned, or was on the turn, from knuckles facing forward, which was desperately unfeminine. And I was just looked at myself in the mirror and thought, oh my goodness, look at you, Sue. This is not how you want to be. And I think I must have been quite low and a bit depressed and things. And certainly I've found that when I did this exercise and I could see my arm twisting and my knuckles coming round to the front, and I thought, well, hang on a minute, look, if that's just one small exercise can do that, imagine what the rest of it's going to do. And that was the trigger, really, because I came racing downstairs and said to my husband, John, look, I can go from, I don't need to be Neanderthal anymore. I can try and feel feminine by just, and I had lost all of that. And so, this course has given me back an awful lot more than just movement, and I mean, masses more.
Amazing. Can you take us through some of the transformations and changes, like mental, emotional, even, spiritual, and in your relationships with yourself and with your family, because the Reshape method is an exercise course, but it's not, right? So maybe take us through some of that.
So, yes, the Reshape method is an exercise course. And I like exercise. you know, I always used to exercise up until the last few years, but what I like about the exercise that's in this course is that you're doing it with the knowledge that whatever exercise you're being asked to do and told to do and shown how to do, there is a really good reason behind it. And it's very motivating, because, you know, exactly like the shoulder one, you know, the shoulder one, then you move your arms, and then all of the squatting, the bird dog, I mean, all sorts of exercises that we get given and to do are all designed in, and you've done that, or you've put them in order of how you're supposed to do them, which I think is brilliant. And it just makes it easier to do, because they're in 30-minute snatches. You can do some of those, take some of the exercises out, and you can be chopping vegetables or brushing your teeth or whatever, and flexing muscles and putting them into your life. And when you do that, you can see the difference out with even exercises. And it's just a case of practicing them. And I hadn't really begun to notice very much until, well, I think I had, but they were just very small things that you think, oh, have I noticed that? Am I doing this better? And you begin to do the exercises more consciously. You get much better at them, and of course, once you get better at them, you feel you can really feel the difference and the power that's behind those exercises. And, you know, my wrists are stronger, and I'm not lean by any manner of means. That's just not me. I'm not a lean person, but I am leaner. You know, I've got more shape to me. I'm stronger. You know, when you showed me those pictures on our wrap-up call, I hadn't realized how squint I was when I got here 12 weeks ago. And, you know, and how off to one side I was. And you know, to think that I've been walking around like that for years, and I now have an upright, straight walk that's pain-free. And when week 5 came along, and I had that emotional moment with you on that call with you all, and to be able to walk and do a longish walk and come home without limping, with no pain and no backache, for someone who's been in chronic pain for 27 years, that is massive, absolutely massive. And I can't, it has given it's given my life back, actually. It means that John and I can go off and do things with a bit more certainty now. We've just had this fab holiday in Orkney in Scotland, where I've walked more in those 2 weeks than I have probably walked more in the previous 5 years. And that is exciting. And I asked him today on a walk, you know, I'm doing this with Tracy tonight. What can I say that you're happy with? And he goes, oh, he says, I'm thrilled that you're moving better and you're happier, and you can, he says, I like watching you walk and not limping. He says, it's fabulous that you're now walking and not limping at the end of it all. And he says, and I really like the fact that we can now look at doing more adventurous holidays. And we can go off and do these things together, rather than him looking at a walking holiday with the knowledge that I couldn't do it. So it really is. It's freedom. That's what it is. Freedom.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that you describe what you've been given through the work that you did, because you did the work. You hit the mat and you did the work. That change comes from the inside out. What other kind of freedoms do you feel that you have now that you've done the program, that you didn't have, or that you thought you wouldn't have as you move forward in your life and in your aging journey, right? Because We're only in one direction. We want to do it audaciously.
Well, I have the freedom to move. The freedom to move is massive. I love, we've moved to this house, which has got quite a big garden, and the garden needs quite a lot of work to it. And before I would be a bit of gardening, sitting down, a bit of gardening, sitting down, but now I can do an awful lot more. And that is exciting because that's something that I really enjoy. Just the freedom to have a choice. I've got a choice now. I can choose to move. I didn't used to have that choice. And I can choose to go on a more active holiday. I can choose to go on an active walk. I can choose to, I'm not getting left behind anymore. I'm not watching other people do things. I'm not watching my husband go off with walks with his friends on walks that I want to do but couldn't do. I can do those walks now. I think I've mentioned before that he did the Camino a few years ago, which he didn't do it for religious purposes. He did it for a challenge, and he did those 500 miles in 6 weeks. Well, there's no way I don't think that I can do 500 miles in 6 weeks. But maybe I can do 500 miles in 3 months. Maybe we can do it and take a long time to do it. And when he was away for those 6 weeks, and he would send me the pictures, and I'd be looking at them and thinking, oh, I wish I was there, knowing that I couldn't be there. But, maybe I can be there. Or maybe if I don't do the Camino, we can do something else. That's the choice. I have the choice of maybe thinking about doing that or not. But it wasn't an option before. Mm-hmm. Wasn't an option before at all.
Amazing. Yeah, that is, I love that. I absolutely love that, right? The freedom for you to now decide how you're going to spend your retirement, right?
Well, it's endless. I can spend my retirement doing what I like now.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Rather than looking and wishing I could do something, I can go off and do it now. Which is brilliant. I mean, right down to silly things like we looked at a holiday the other day, which had canoeing or something like that in. There was no way 12 weeks ago I could even contemplate bending myself in and out of a canoe. I think I can do that now. I know I've certainly got the arm strength for it. So it honestly, it is just it is a choice. You've given me a choice of what I can do now, and not be thinking and wishing and feeling a bit left out that I'm on the shore and everybody else is off doing something else. And yeah.
Fantastic. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that.
And you're welcome.
Did you have any hesitations coming into the program? What were your hesitations?
I think the only hesitation I had, this is not a reflection on you, it's more of a reflection on Facebook itself and all things online. I suppose I worried a little bit that it was going to be too good to be true. and that, you see things like, I don't know, all sorts of yoga and walking and other things that you see online, especially through the pandemic that came up. And I don't know, but you're much more genuine than those folk on there. So I really shouldn't have worried about it. But that was my only worry, was that I'm in a different country. I think that was my only thing. Is I'm a bit of a technophobe, to be fair. And that's not news to you with my failings of getting onto groups at the beginning. So I'm much more of a need to meet the person sort of, I don't know, maybe that's the teacher in me. I'm much better at face-to-face rather than through online. But I should never have worried about it. This work's an absolute treat. And you know, the Facebook, the groups, the group chat that we have, they're brilliant, absolutely brilliant, because you meet people. And once I'd met a few folk all doing the same thing, any hesitation and worries I had went out the window. It really did. So if there's anyone out there who's at all worried, you just shouldn't be, because you really shouldn't be. It's if you've got any issues at all, movement issues, then this it really is. It's brilliant. It's been amazing.
Oh, thank you, and you've become quite the techie. You're managing all the tech fantastically, so well done. And it's amazing that Facebook and Zoom and all of this does give us the opportunity to meet and connect with like-minded people, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Maybe you can tell people a little bit about what it's like, first of all, to have, because we also do private coaching calls.
Yeah.
So because that's where I get my eyes on you. So maybe you can tell people a little bit about how that really makes the difference, because this course is divided into, there are like 3 components. There's the online component where you have the dashboard so that you can do the workouts and the lessons in your own time. Then there are the group coaching calls, the weekly group coaching calls. So you're getting lots of time with me. Maybe you can tell people what hot seats are like and what we do there. But then on top of all that, you get private coaching sessions with me where we can really dial in on what's happening with your body. So maybe tell me what that experience is like.
Again, it's a very comfortable experience, actually, because there's just you and I there. We're working on the sticky bits that are on of my body, and it's a very I want to say comforting, because it's not, because although you're you know, on the other side of the world, you're in that room with me, and you know, we move the iPad down and all the rest of it so you can see what's going on. But the way you describe things, actually, the way you describe what you need to do, or what I need to do in these exercises that we have on the one-to-one, like the breathing one was, I really struggled with the breathing one for quite some time. And I mean, I don't know how you didn't pull your hair out, to be fair, because I couldn't remember to breathe out, to breathe in. And you know, I get the analogy of the coffee pot, but it was, and the zip, and I just couldn't remember it. And but you've got the patience of a saint as well. But once you get the hang of that, once you get the hang of what you've been taught, it's there. Then you don't forget it. And the other beauty of it is you get the recording. So you send me the recording of our meeting. So I think I've remembered everything, and then I watch the recording and think, oh no, I've forgotten that bit. And so you end up having the whole thing all over again. So it's you know, to get that recording makes a massive difference. Well, it does for me anyway. And also, you know, you explain things so well, and you sit there and you have your beady eye on us through the computer, and you're like, no, you're breathing through your left side, or your neck's going up, and I'm thinking, I'm looking at myself in the mirror going, crikey, is it? And but you can see that it is, and I think that's incredible. That despite the fact that you're so far away, it felt like you were in the room, and that's a difficult thing to get through on Zoom. You know, to have that friendliness that you manage to, you know, that you give out. It's I mean, they're great. They really are good.
Well, I loved our private sessions, and I'm so pleased that you are staying on as a member of the Reshape Method, so that we can.
No, you can't get rid of me now, Tracy. No, I'm here to stay.
The fun has only just begun, right? Because the Reshape Method, it's a foundational back to basics program. Now that you've been realigned, now that you've been reshaped, right, in body, mind, and spirit, the opportunities, as you say, are endless. But maybe also tell us a little bit. You said that your friends have noticed differences and commented. Tell us a little bit about what they've said and how that feels.
Well, they've said, so I turned up for coffee one morning and a friend said to me, gosh, Sue, look at you. Look how straight you're standing. I didn't recognize you because I came in and she says, your whole walk and you just look and feel more confident in yourself. But it wasn't a confidence. It must have been the look of the confidence, because I was less crumpled or less squint. And I was standing upright. And she says, I almost didn't recognize you. And I was like, wow. And it makes you realize that the changes that you think are quite small are actually really significant, because although they're changes to you and you see them on a daily basis, so they're less impactful, I suppose. And it's not until someone says to you, wow, Sue, you're looking really well, that you realize that the changes are there. And I notice my clothes are better. My jeans fit me better. Things are looser. And then when I met up with a friend last week, and I went up to pay the bill, and I came back, and she goes, you've lost weight round the back. And I thought, well, thank you. I mean, I didn't think that I had. And she goes, yeah, no, I can see it. And it's like fab. And it makes you feel brilliant, because it's yet another column on the confidence column, because this whole program has given me certainly much more confidence. I think I was slipping into that menopausal slump that you can have, that you begin to feel that you're not seen and you're not heard and you're not, or that's how I feel anyway. And but I feel I've got more zip, I've got more sass, I've got more vim. I mean, I've always been a bit sassy anyway. My husband will tell you that, but I feel like I've got more energy, and I move faster too, which is sometimes I can take myself like, whoa, Sue, how fast did you do that? And all I've done is it's just brilliant. Honestly, I can't tell you just how much this course has meant. It really has. It's been a complete lifesaver, I think.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I was going to ask you, what has surprised you the most about doing the Reshape Method? I think you just answered it beautifully, but is there anything that really has just surprised you the most?
Well, I think when I signed on for it, I was hoping to make things easier for myself, in that I would be able to move a little better than I was moving, and that, maybe that I could just find my groove again. And, because certainly in the pandemic, I honestly just hibernated something chronic, and it gave me the excuse to hibernate. And boy, I took that excuse. So I think I was just hoping that it was going to make me move a little more. What I didn't realize was that it was going to allow me to move a lot more. It was going to allow me to move without any pain. It was going to allow me to do things like kneel on the floor. I haven't been able to kneel on the floor ever since the accident, because it's been too sore. But those exercises that you got us to do, when I first started to do them, I had 2 cushions under my knees. I now don't need any cushions under my knees. So everything has clearly moved, and you know, to the point where my knees are able to take it. You know, not being able to limp. You know, I have limped when I've walked too far in my old walk. I would limp. You know, not limping. So limping is exhausting. It really is. And to be able to walk and not limp and is great. And today we went on this longish walk. My husband says to me, I really love not seeing you limp. So, you know, because he hates seeing sticks and crutches and goodness knows, and they've been a big part of my last 20 odd years. So I'm hoping to put them in a dusty cupboard and they can stay there.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. Yes, let's get that to the dusty cupboard, because you have got, do you feel kind of more integrated? Do you feel like you're back to yourself again, like back to your
yeah. I feel like I did 20 odd years ago. I feel before it got really bad. You know, and that's where I feel. I feel like I'm back there. Certainly since hitting perimenopause, everything went downhill, certainly. And I've been in perimenopause for, oh, crikey, years. I'm fed up with it. I'm still there, 56, and I'm still there. And I'm like, oh, you know, and it's like all those aches and pains. But I thought those aches and pains were more accident related, but I actually now think that they were perimenopause related, or aggravated, made worse anyway. And I now feel mentally and physically not like the old lady I had begin to feel, and that's also great. You know, nobody, because I maybe am 56, but I was thinking I was feeling physically more 76, to be fair. So now I'm feeling, dare I say it, 46.
I love it.
But,
I love it. Yeah.
You know, I do feel so much better. So much better.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Sue, for coming to chat to us.
You're very welcome.
Method experience. And just to end off, if there's anybody sitting on the fence thinking, this reshape method sounds interesting, what advice do you have for them?
Get off the fence and get into the program, because it really is life-changing, and I'm so thrilled to have found you and to find myself sat here feeling like I am, with the knowledge that it can only get better from here, and get off that fence, you know. Be good to yourself and do something, and take the plunge. Do it.
Thank you. And thank you for taking the plunge. We love having you in the community and in the group, and just seeing your beautiful metamorphosis, right? It's been a metamorphosis.
Well, thank you also for having me on here. And I'm so thrilled to have found you, really am.
Lots of love. Thank you, Sue. We'll see you soon. We'll see you on the coaching call tomorrow, I hope.
You will.
Okay.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks for coming to chat.